welcome back to my channel. And today we're talking about how to stop buying stupid shit. Look, I'm not coming to this from a place of judgment. I have bought plenty of stupid shit throughout the years. In fact, the first time that I got a job that paid more than $500 a week, I immediately developed a very real shopping addiction to stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Target. And I still buy stupid shit, most notably iced coffees out. It's ridiculous. I have one right here. I'm constantly in a drive-through in search of that dopamine fix. So I am, of course, just as human as the next person. I go through phases where I suddenly find myself buying more than necessary. And what I'm going to share today are some of the things I do that get me out of those habits. So without further ado, here's what I know about how to stop buying stupid shit. So the first one is to consider the reasons that you want to buy less shit. Part of it might be about your home and home maintenance. The fewer things you have, the better you can keep track of and take care of them. And the more you get to really appreciate and enjoy each thing in your home. For example, the more clothes you get rid of, the less laundry there is to do. The fewer plates you have, the less the dishes can stack up. Your environment is incredibly connected to your mental health, so that might be an important reason for you, especially if you've gotten into any shopping habits that are starting to make your house feel overcluttered. Maybe a lot of things still have the tag on. You can't even get to putting those things away before you've bought more things. That can start to really stress us out, and it could easily contribute to some low-level anxiety. I also think, if you have a family, if you have children, the fewer toys they have, the more that they are able to enjoy each one and avoid getting overstimulated by endless choices. And of course, the easier the home is to pick up. I'm not recommending being overly restrictive, but just keeping that in mind if you're prone to impulse buying. Bottom line for this reason is that the fewer things you have, the easier they are to maintain. Another reason that really stands out to me is environmental. Here's a few statistics reported by Becoming Minimalist. There are 300,000 items in the average American household. The average size of an American home has almost tripled over the past 50 years. The United States has over 50,000 storage facilities, and there are 7.5 square feet of self-storage space for every human in the nation. The average 10-year-old owns 238 toys, but plays with 12 of them daily. And 3.1% of the world's children live in America, but they own 40% of the toys consumed globally. So this is just madness. It's bonkers. And it is, of course, connected to a lot of environmental problems. According to earth.org, the fast fashion industry is the second largest consumer of water and is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions. 85% of all textiles go to dumps each year, and these clothes release 500,000 tons of microfibers into our water systems, which they note is the equivalent of 50 billion plastic water bottles. 80% of apparel is made by young women ages 18 to 24, and a U.S. Department of Labor report found evidence of forced and child labor in the fashion industries in 10 or more countries. The United States is a major producer of plastic, with most of it ending up in landfills. For example, in 2021, Americans discarded 51 million tons of plastic, with a very tiny percentage of that being recycled. This, of course, contributes to soil and water pollution, and the US also ships out its garbage. I can't believe that. I just learned that in this moment. I've definitely had the thought before of how do we not run out of room for all our trash? It turns out we send it right to other countries, so that's how. Microplastics are a growing concern. There's growing awareness around how damaging these are for our health and our well-being, and the environmental picture is just practically begging us to hit the brakes with impulsively buying garbage. And of course, there could be your own financial reasons. Whether this is becoming a serious financial problem for you, or you just like to see your money go somewhere else, your finances may be a huge part of your motivation to change your spending habits. And this may be especially true if you've gotten into any habits of racking up debt on credit cards, letting that balance climb, and getting interest added to it. Once you've got some of your motivating factors, you can move into number 2, which is to make it into a game for yourself. So this is helping yourself figure out what will make this experience of not buying things enjoyable for me. It can also help with what we'll talk about later, which is putting your attention elsewhere. If you're motivated by clearing out your house and the state of your environment, for example, you could also focus on donating more items throughout your home, leaning into that minimalism and curating different spots so that they feel really good for you. If you're motivated by environmental factors, it could be looking for other ways to improve your impact on the earth at the same time. Maybe you're focused focused on making rags to use instead of paper towels, or maybe spending some time thinking about what you consume that has plastic and trying to minimize that. I think also within this game can be like if you just get a kick out of resisting advertising, resisting consumerism, all of that. Okay, the third thing you're gonna want to do to stop buying dumb shit is to switch your mindset from cost to cost per use. Let me give you a really simple example to explain what this is. If you have one shirt that costs $5, but you can only wear it once before it ends up ruined, and then you have another shirt that costs $100, but you can wear it 100 times, then that more expensive shirt actually has the lower cost per use. In the first one, you only got one wear out of it for $5, whereas in the second one, you got 100 wears out of it for $100, so that's $1 per wear. And trust me, I know firsthand that there can be a lot of privilege in thinking this way. You have to be able to afford those more expensive items. But if you're somebody who is buying multiple new wardrobes a year, maybe buying several new pieces for every trip you take, or just generally impulsively spending a lot more than you need to, then this tip might be for you. When you're thinking this way, you'll be much less likely to impulsively spend on cheap products because you'll know that you probably won't get a great return on that investment and you should just save up for the better quality thing. You might need to consider, do I actually need the quantity of things that I'm buying? Or could I have 3 nice high quality shirts that I absolutely love instead of 50 cheap ones from Shein? Number 4 is to find low or no cost hobbies. You're gonna wanna take your attention as much as possible away from advertising, away from purchasing and consuming. So you're gonna wanna find some other things to do. Personally, I love gardening, urban homesteading, taking care of my plants, spending time in nature, those kind of things. Last year, we grew 100% of our own cannabis, and we did the whole process, drying, trimming, and curing them. And that was pretty fun. It took up a lot of attention, and we got something for free out of it as well as an added bonus. So that can be a really great way to take your attention off of purchases and maybe find another way to work towards your goals. Finally, number 5 is connecting with your community. I'm going to repeat the words of Grandma Salgado again because they just will not let me rest. You only need 100 hammers for 100 people if everyone is isolated and afraid. The more we can connect with one another, the more we can share resources and the less we're spending on dumb shit. Everyone does not need their own personal power washer or Cricut or label maker. It's fine if you have those things, but it's worth considering before you go out and make a purchase. Do I know someone who has this thing? Do I have the kind of relationship with them where I could ask for it? And that part may be something that needs to be built over time, but creating those kind of relationships with your friends, families, and neighbors can be a great way logistically to stop buying so much. It's also useful on that deeper level of having you feel more fulfilled so that you're less susceptible to impulse buying in the first place. Alright guys, that is everything I have for you today. I'm dying to know your thoughts. Like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed our conversation today, and I will see you next time. Bye!